What is the most dangerous weapon in the world? A powerful sword, a modern machine, a weapon that can destroy thousands of people? Maybe not. The most dangerous weapon is something every human being carries, a mind controlled by anger. Because when people lose control of themselves, they can destroy relationships, destroy opportunities, and sometimes destroy their own future. Thousands of years ago, an old warrior discovered a surprising truth. The strongest person is not the one who can defeat others. It is the one who can defeat himself. Long ago, there was a young warrior who dreamed of becoming the greatest swordsman in the kingdom. He trained every day. He studied every movement. He practiced until his hands were covered with wounds. After many years, he finally created a sword unlike any other. The blade was perfectly balanced. It was incredibly sharp. People said, with this sword, he could defeat anyone. The warrior became famous. People respected him, but there was one thing that surprised everyone. He never used the sword in a real battle. Many people laughed at him. They said, "You trained your entire life to create the strongest sword, but you are afraid to use it." The warrior smiled. "No," he replied. "I created this sword because I wanted to understand power. Real power is not the ability to destroy. Real power is having the ability to destroy, but choosing not to." One day, a famous fighter challenged him. The fighter was arrogant. He wanted to prove that he was stronger. In front of many people, he insulted the warrior. He questioned his skills. He laughed at his unused sword. The crowd waited. They expected the warrior to become angry. They expected him to fight. But the warrior remained calm. He simply said, "A person who loses control of his emotions has already lost the battle." The challenger became even more angry. He attacked. The warrior avoided every strike. He did not attack back. After several minutes, the challenger became exhausted. The warrior finally placed his sword back into its cover. The battle was over. Everyone was shocked. "Why didn't you defeat him?" someone asked. The warrior answered, "Because my goal was never to defeat him. My goal was to make sure I did not become like him." At first glance, this story seems to be about fighting. But actually, it is about something much deeper. Self-control. Human beings have always believed that power means having the ability to win. But many times, the greatest victory is refusing to enter a meaningless battle. Think about everyday life. Someone insults you online. Your first reaction is, "I need to reply." Someone criticizes you. You immediately want to defend yourself. Someone challenges your opinion. You feel the need to prove them wrong. But ask yourself, are you winning, or are you simply allowing someone else to control your emotions? A person who can control your anger can control your actions. And when someone controls your actions, they control your future. Look at social media today. Millions of people spend hours arguing with strangers. They do not know these people. They will never meet them. But they sacrifice their peace trying to win an argument. Why? Because humans have a deep desire. The desire to be right. Sometimes people care more about proving they're correct than building a better life. The same thing happens in workplaces. Imagine an employee receiving unfair criticism from a manager. One reaction is, "How dare you talk to me like that?" They become defensive. They argue. They create conflict. Another person reacts differently. They think, "What can I learn from this? Is there something I can improve?" The second person does not mean they accept everything. They simply refuse to let emotions control their decisions. Years later, the difference between these two people can be enormous. This also happens in relationships. Many relationships do not end because people stop caring. They end because both people want to win. A small argument becomes a competition. Someone says something hurtful. The other person responds with something even more painful. Eventually, two people who love each other become enemies. Not because they lack love, but because they lack control. So what can we learn from the warrior and his sword? Lesson 1. Your emotions are powerful, but they should not be your master. Anger can give you energy, but uncontrolled anger can destroy everything you built. Strong people feel emotions. They simply do not let emotions make decisions for them. Lesson 2. Not every battle deserves your energy. Life will constantly give you opportunities to fight. Someone will misconstruct you. Someone will criticize you. Someone will disagree with you. But wisdom is knowing not every enemy deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your response. Lesson 3. The greatest victory is mastering yourself. Winning against others gives temporary satisfaction. Winning against yourself creates lifelong strength. A person who controls his emotions controls his choices. A person who controls his choices controls his destiny. The warrior's greatest achievement was not creating the strongest sword. It was creating the strongest mind, because weapons can defeat enemies, but wisdom can prevent unnecessary wars. Today, we live in a world full of conflict. People fight online. People compete constantly. People try to prove their value every day. But sometimes, the person you need to defeat is not someone else. It is the weaker version of yourself, the part of you that wants revenge, the part of you that needs approval, the part of you that cannot accept losing. Welcome to Human Nature Chronicles. Here, we explore ancient stories, human psychology, and timeless lessons from history. Because behind every story from the past, there is a lesson about who we are today. If this story gave you a new perspective, consider subscribing. Every week, we discover another story about human nature, wisdom, and the choices that shape our lives. Thank you for watching. Remember, the strongest person is not the one who controls others. The strongest person is the one who controls himself.